we've Grogna, we've Ninnybong, TF reviewers. I am Moose for the win, back at you with another Transformers review. Today we are doing Hasbro's Studio Series 86, Leader Class Sludge. Continuing off from the Dinobots series, which is my favorite. Love these giant metal fire-breathing dino boys. We got Big Daddy Sludge. He is the biggest of the Dinobots in most canons that I have looked into. He is a Brachiosaurus, Brontosaurus, long neck, I don't know what you want to call him, but he's long. He is a long boy. His neck is not that tall, but his body length is so big that if I turn him sideways, it doesn't even fit in frame. He's like almost a foot long or something. I don't know. He's great. Dino mode has almost no posability other than just a little bit of neck articulation. The head moves up and down, opens up. Again, there's a little fire port there. The little nub arms in the front move up and down, and the hips kind of go to the side. So if you wanted to do that scene where he's being squished by Devastator, you can kind of do that. That's about it. I think there's an upgrade kit that made him look like his eyeballs were bugging out, which was probably one of my favorite frames of animation in cartoon history. The first time I saw that, I laughed so hard. Weapon storage on the underside. His gun's just kind of there, and he's got his like toes from robot mode propping up his underbelly so he can kind of stand better. Other than that, no real discernible play features for Dino mode, but you don't really need it for this kind of animal, I guess, which is fine. Paint job is great. He's got some different shades of gray and like chrome gray there. The beautiful Dinobot gold, I love it. These pretty blue eyes. He's got this real scary grimace to him. Sludge I was kind of like thought of as the gentle giant of the group, but this one I would not want to meet in a dark alley. He's very scary. He's definitely the shortest of the Dinobots. Here he is next to Grimlock. But again, he is much longer. So like here he is. I'm going to put him in the back. Keep him in frame there. And here he is next to Grimlock. Like you can still see plenty of sludge on both ends. So mass-wise, it's all still there. It still matches up to the rest of the Dinobots. He's just not as tall, and he doesn't have a whole lot of gimmicks. Speaking of gimmicks, he's the first of the Leader Class Dinobots to not come with a semi-useless little minifigure like Wheelie and Daniel. But I'm sure you can put them on there. They just don't have anywhere to peg. Yabba dabba doo. But yeah, other than that, great Dino mode. That said, he has had a lot of complaints with the looseness of his joints in robot mode. I've had to actually take a micro screwdriver and tighten the knee joints just so he could stand. Out of the box, he couldn't even hold up his own body weight. And I usually try not to be negative. I try not to complain, but that is a serious issue. When you can't even function out of the box without outside help or, you know, the whole some assembly required thing with no warning, that's a problem that needs to be addressed in my opinion. But everywhere else on the figure is great, you know? So Hasbro, if you're watching this, there's just a couple of QC issues. That's about it. So transformation, very similar to other Dinobots where he's a lot of paneling work and just moving the legs and tail around, which is why I decided to show him going from Dino to Robot, because otherwise we'd be here a while with me off camera trying to panel things in, and that's a moot point for Transformers reviewing, am I right? So first things first, getting rid of the gun. This weird, ugly, hollow underbelly without it looks very awkward, but it's necessary for how he transforms. You'll see in a bit. So first, we're just going to take all the panels, fold that down, open up his chest, splay the wings out. Move this head chunk down. And then this whole torso chunk comes up and around. You lift the head up out of the way and connect the whole torso. But first, let's get these little legs out of the way. Move them there, and that's why there's that big hollow area, is because, oh hey look, the ankles have tilt. That's cute. I just noticed that. Move all the head and dino feet out of the way and move the chest. Lock that in. Very solid torso piece. Am I still in frame? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. You'll find that I talk to myself a lot. That's not because I am crazy. That is because sometimes I need expert opinion. It's a joke. I am just crazy. Anyway, separate the legs. Now the paneling works a little intricate on Sludge as opposed to other Dinobots, but here we go. We'll move these out of the way, move this part up so we can move the feet down. Oh, I'm losing my backdrop here. Oh crap. Oh no. Technical difficulties. All right, so move this around so you can see. Bring the tips down. Ankles come back. Did I do that wrong? Yeah. Okay, so bring the ankles down, get this black bit down, so move that there. That fills in the rest of the calf. Clip that in, then fold that down. And then the foot like that. So it's very much just moving panel out of the way for another panel to move out of the way, to move another panel out of the way, to get the leg in the way. And then the foot kind of folds up and accordions up and pegs into itself. And then from there, it's very sturdy. Just move the whole hip assembly around. So then move the ankles, just kind of fold them down, get the head just out of the way wherever you prefer it to be. Move the back wings, just kind of have them out of the way. They're just loose wings. And then the arms, you turn them around. Bring them down, straighten up the elbow joints. And then just like Sludge, you bring the wrists out and turn them. See, he's even falling down under his own weight even after I did the tightening trick. He's very finicky. He's got a lot of body mass, and that's both a blessing and a problem for this guy. Come on. He's tight in some areas, but loose in others. No comment. Come on, peg that down there. And there you have Sludge in Dino mode. I love his like hand cannon. It looks like a pistol on him, a bazooka on anyone else. Look great with some blast effects, but I left all my blast effects in my storage. Shouldn't have done that. I should have brought some for some thematic effect, but yeah, there you go. So yeah, great figure. I love the paint job on his head. He's very big, chunky, simple design. He looks fantastic, even though these wings kind of like get in the way of his shoulders. I think that's kind of the point because it finishes the look. It makes him look very rounded, very bulky. I love it. But again, the knee joints were so loose, they would bend any which way forward or back freely, like a Woody doll from Toy Story. It was horrible. So I took a little micro screwdriver and I tightened this as best as I could. And at the very least, he's now able to pose somewhat, but I would not risk like overdoing it to loosen that joint again. But I still love this figure. I still recommend the leader class Dinobots with every fiber of my being, just because I'm not only biased, but it is just a great design of figure. It's huge. I love it. Here he is next to Grimlock again. Very much same case where the body mass just kind of shifts and they become a lot taller and they seem a lot bulkier once they get into Dino or from Dino mode to robot mode. Here he is next to Slug. He's a bigger dude. Slug only has him on height just because of the head crest, but robot mode is a lot wider, a lot bulkier. And I like the paint job better just because there's a lot more detail on the face. Like if Slug had a little more details on the face instead of just a solid chunk of red. That's just a personal gripe of mine, but I digress. And I forgot to do some scaling with other figures on the last video with Slug, but I have here a Optimus Prime. He's about the same standard size as most Voyagers nowadays. The Dinobots are massive. Like as a collective group, these guys are head and shoulders above most characters. Here he is next to a Sideswipe, their standard Lambo deluxe design. He only comes up to his waist. Like these guys are massive. These are the same size as leaders of old back in the Combiner Wars days and earlier. Like this is the leader class scale that I was used to growing up. I love big figures. I love the Titans. I love the chunky boys. I'm a sucker for the brick, you know? And the Dinobots provide the brick. I love it. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of the set. I cannot wait to have all 5 of them standing on display, imposing. I just love them. They're beautiful. I just really hope Hasbro would get a peg on this quality control issue with the looseness of the joints, because I'm afraid that if it continues and gets worse, as the trend has been, you're not gonna enjoy them. And I wanna be able to enjoy them. I wanna be able to like wholeheartedly recommend these figures. And it's just a concern. It's not a deal breaker, it's just a concern. But otherwise, love it. I love the Dinobots. And there we have Leader Class Studio Series 86 Sludge.